I think, gentlemen, that we are now live. And everybody, hello, welcome. We got some great comments. Like right off the bat, Denise Stego, thank you so much. Was like, I'm excited when you guys come on. This was like 2 hours or 3 hours before we went on live. Literally, this popped up while I was doing Roland Martin live, and she was like, "Can't wait, patiently wait from California." So hopefully you're with us right now. If you are with us, drop comments like and chat with us. Would love and prefer, of course, if you were watching from any one of our accounts on YouTube, and then you could comment directly on the YouTube. 3 devices. Thank you so much. That's what we're talking about, Citizen Morgan. That's real support. That's real support. We appreciate it, and we love it. Welcome, Contessa Green. Glad you're back, my love. Can't wait for you to hear this debate because this is gonna be like wild, wild. I'm actually making a video about Congressman Doofus, whose voice as an actor is like one of the softest voices I've ever heard. So I mean, take it that for what it's worth. And then we also have, hey, Letitia, and again, everybody here, and again, streaming all on our platforms, all separate devices. So look, this is going to be a very interesting episode because this was literally a real argument on Saturday. Now, I'm on Saturday, went to spin class. Oh, you know what? I think this Saturday I didn't go to spin class. I think I slept in because last week was such a hard week. And I wake up, I was drinking a cup of coffee while working on my laptop, working on content, and that's when this debate started. And the debate started when Kenny made the revelation that Congressman Green, it started with Brian. It always starts with Brian. It always starts with Brian. Brian dropped something in the chat with emoji eyes, like, wow. Like he is so excited. He gets so excited about something he's seen. That he's so excited, and he was so excited about this clip from the Breakfast Club, and Kenny was like, "That's how you do it. We gotta fucking do it like this." And I said, "What? Am I living in a Twilight Zone?" Kenny, Brian, that may not have been fair, but that's how I saw it. What are your thoughts?
Look, I feel that as far as Democratic voices and Democratic leaders, we have to go where the people are. And unfortunately, even though Charlemagne isn't my cup of tea and he speaks a lot of ignorance, and I do believe that he likes to grift off of people's grief, unfortunately, he has a platform. And unfortunately, we have to go where people are getting their information, whether it be misinformation or not. If we're in these rooms, we're doing ourselves a disservice by not going in there with real truth and pushing back against the nonsense. I'm glad Al Green showed up. I'm glad that he was able to try his best to reach out, even though it might go in vain. But at the end of the day, even if he reaches just one person in Charlemagne's audience, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. So we have to sow these seeds, and hopefully all the seeds that we're sowing may come to fruition.
I agree with that. And I will say that that interview was fantastic. The interview that Al Green had with folks at the Breakfast Club was really good. I think that there's space to acknowledge, like Kenny has, because I was surprised that Kenny said that, because Kenny hates Charlemagne. Like, let's put that out there. Like, and the reasons are founded, right? They're substantiated. The fact is that Charlemagne has done this in the past. Like, he did it with Kamala Harris. He did it with Stacey Abrams, right? Where he literally was with Stacey Abrams at a VIP event that we were at, Zach. We were at that event with Stacey Abrams, 21 Savage, Charlemagne the God, and it was a lawyer.
Tell the people who was not impressed by Charlemagne. Even then, I wasn't fucking having it. Then, I would, people want to take pictures with Charlemagne. They want to. I'll take the picture for you. I'll take the video for you. I didn't want to be seen with this motherfucker.
Can I say
this?
That's
how my hate goes, and it's not going to change. I'm not switching up.
Yeah, can I say this? Because when we were there in that green room, I will say this publicly, Charlemagne was very different when the cameras were off versus when the cameras were on. When the cameras were off, he was very gregarious. He was able to talk to us. He was just like, just talking like a regular human being. And from a creator perspective, he wanted to learn more about viral moments. Like at that time, I had a couple of viral moments with Stacey Abrams, the campaign that I was trying to do. And he was like, "That was you?" He was like, "Oh." As soon as the cameras turned on, he changed up to that, oh, I gotta play this. Here's what I will say though, going back to that interview, I think it was a really good interview. They really respected Al Green as an elder, which I love to see. They gave him the proper respect that he deserved, and they gave him his flowers, which I think, unfortunately, Al Green had not gotten a lot up until that point. I have not seen it, right? I think oftentimes when we look at these national kind of events or think about politics, we don't think about certain House members. And what I really do love, and from some of the work that we were able to do when we were in DC, we were able to uplift people that a lot of people don't see. Like, people see Jasmine Crockett, people see Maxwell Frost, people see, but not many people see a lot of Ayanna Pressley, right? Like, in terms of a lot of coverage, not many people see Al Green, not many people see a couple of these other people that we were able to uplift, like Chantel Brown, Representative Underwood, who deserve their flowers too, because they're also doing the work. And I think it's super important to uplift those folks.
Totally different perspective, and I'm fine with every single week being the odd man out. But I don't agree. Like, and again, yeah, let me break down something to the audience. And I know that you guys, it seems like on the surface, yeah, we want to flood the zone and make all different types of places the pulpit, or the bully pulpit, or where you're the soapbox, you're able to really get out there and get the message out. It will be different if Charlemagne's the gadfly and if Leonard McKelvey and his media organization hadn't already betrayed the black community, hadn't already been homophobic towards the queer community, hadn't already been and supported transphobia, hadn't already hurt the Democratic Party by being hypercritical of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in the past. He's already done that. And what he's really done is he builds an audience and he hooks you in, and he does these things like give a great respectful interview to Representative Al Green. And then he turns around at the most advantageous moment to him and to his paymasters. He then weaponizes the community that you have given him to hurt people that he wants to hurt the Democratic Party, to hurt black people, to hurt gay people, to hurt trans people. That's what he does. This man lost an audience when the three of us and people like us attacked him unrelentlessly for the bullshit that he said and for the damage that he caused. We went after him. We went after him. We spoke truth to power, and we called him out, and we held him accountable. So now that he's lost an audience and he's trying to use Representative Al Green, Representative Jasmine Crockett, and other prominent black voices to rebuild it, we're going to give it to him. We're going to let him. Al Green did not benefit from being on The Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club benefited from Al Green's viral moment. They're using him, and we're buying into it, and we're giving them that moment. They are going to sell us down the river in the exact same way those 10 Democratic traitors sold Al Green down the river. They're going to use us, and they're going to hurt us, and they're going to continuously play the game of holding us back at the most opportune moment. I will never platform that. I will never platform those people. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Representative Green can do whatever he thinks is best. But I know what I can do, and what I can control is not share that bullshit, not watch that bullshit, and not give it any likes, clicks, views, or anything or any other metrics from my one place or where I stand that could in any way uplift and amplify Leonard McKelvey and the bullshit he does. I personally think that is the right way to go. And that's just, again, I'm happy to be the odd man out, but I think it's fucking ridiculous that we would in any way praise or platform the bullshit they do.
Yeah, May I respond?
Yeah, go ahead, respond, because I have a response.
Look, we're not platforming Charlemagne at all, and I don't call him Leonard McKelvey or Gadfly or whatever. I call him Kundaman because that's what he is. So as far as that, we are not platforming him. We are literally using his platform. He thinks he's using us when we're actually using him to reach out to his audience. That's all we're doing. As far as giving him a chance and going back and being a subscriber, absolutely not. I will always show up when it comes to Democratic leadership, like a Jasmine Crockett, like an Al Green. If Jeffries decides to go on there, I will show up for them to see what they're saying and seeing if they're using their voice to put the information out there where it's easily accessible for the people. But like Kamala Harris said, we're not going back, and we are not watching. We are not watching Charlemagne. We are not subscribing to Charlemagne. We are not validating Charlemagne. Nobody gives a fuck about Charlemagne. If anything, he is not a maverick. He is just a grifter who uses black women to propel himself to a higher position. When actuality, we're not doing any of those things. What we will do is continue to show up in these spaces and have these hard conversations and reach out to as many people as we possibly can. That's the reason why Pete Buttigieg used to show up on Fox News. He showed up on Fox News so that way he can reach out to those moderate conservatives who are leaning away, or those never Trumpers. That's the reason why we're doing it. We're not doing it because we're trying to validate this person. We're not inviting him to our spaces where he can be harmful to our audiences, because we create safe spaces with our platforms. So he's never going to be platformed on ours, but we will show up to his, and we will push back on the bullshit, because the problem is when we're only talking to our own audiences, we're speaking in echo chambers, and we're doing a lot of Americans disservices by not reaching out and doing the best that we possibly can to put the message out there. So that's all I got to say on that.
I'm gonna turn it over to Brian, but happy birthday, Carrie! Oh my God!
Yes,
we missed Carrie's birthday. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Carrie!
Happy fucking birthday!
And we miss Carrie on these social media streets. So Carrie, take your break. Do what you need to do to
No. She's still on the social media streets. She's just the algorithm fucking with her. No, I see her.
Okay, so the algorithm is definitely fucking, but I definitely want to see more of Carrie. Look, let me say this. I think so. I agree with what Kenny is saying. I think we absolutely need to go on different airwaves that are not necessarily as friendly to us. I agree with going to these places because we can interrupt some of these kind of echo chambers that they have, right? Like, again, Pete Buttigieg is a really great example, but Tim Walz being another great example of going into these spaces. Like when he was on Fox News, like he's able to speak to those specific communities, those rural communities, those white communities, using his white privilege to be able to uplift a message that is not necessarily going to be uplifted. The same thing like Jessica Tarlov sitting at the 5 news desk, right? And she's the lone wolf. What's her name? I think there's I catch her clips all the time. I think her name is Marie Surf. She is on the morning show on Fox News. I see sometimes her clips where she's pushing back and talking about veterans and pushing it back against Doge and stuff. And I'm like, that's good. Like, we need some, like, if there's not that at least one person, and then, you know, they always tokenize the liberal person or perspective on Fox News. And, you know, that's why you catch those clips online. But those messages need to be out there, right? So I agree with that, right? Like another great example of that is, I know we're going to talk about Gavin Newsom sitting down with Charlie Kirk, sitting down with Steve Bannon. Let me say this. When I saw that originally, I didn't like, because I didn't watch the show, but I saw the clips. And what I didn't like about the clip between Charlie Kirk and Gavin Newsom was the fact that Charlie Kirk was specifically spitting lies about gay pornography in books, and that's the reason why the books were being banned. Here we go, the difference. It would have been very different if Gavin Newsom sat with Charlie Kirk and debated him the way he debated Ron DeSantis on that stage with Fox News, where he actually pushed back and gave facts and say, no, that's not motherfucking it. No, you can say, right? Like, it's a difference when you're there and pushing back. But when you sit there and you're across the seat and you're saying, oh, no, that's fair. He's sitting here lying, and Charlie Kirk is saying this bullshit, spouting this conservative right-wing doctrine, and you have Gavin Newsom saying, no, that's fair. Bitch, ain't nothing fair about it. You didn't push back hard enough. And so my thing is, you know, and some people were in the comment section. I saw Melinda Hale, shout out Melinda Hale, was on Instagram, and she posted, she was like, she actually watched the full Steve Bannon video that Gavin Newsom had. And she was like, you know, I watched it. She was like, I appreciated the fact that he pushed back more against Steve Bannon than he did with Charlie Kirk. But you know, I just don't know if this is the proper thing to do, to be platforming these people. And I'm like, these are right-wing nationalists. So I didn't like that. I didn't like that he didn't push back. But I am a firm believer in motherfucking pushback against the misinformation. Combat this shit and bring the facts. I'm not against sitting down with someone that I disagree with to motherfucking debate you, because I'm gonna destroy you with facts, and I'm gonna make you look stupid on these motherfucking airwaves. I'm cool with that. I'm that person. So when I saw when I saw his infomercial, I don't know if y'all saw the commercial originally when Gavin Newsom put out that he even was going to have this podcast. He said in the outfront, he was going to sit down with people that you both like and that you both did not like. So in my mind, I was already preempting him to sit down with people like Steve Bannon, like I didn't think Charlie Kirk. I didn't think, but I thought he would be pushing back and giving a real perspective, not that's fair and I agree. Because what the fuck do you agree with?
He agrees with trans women not being enforced, which is wild.
Right, wild.
I don't listen. I know that we're saying these people have platforms. My argument is they shouldn't have platforms. That's what I'm saying. Charlie Kirk shouldn't have a platform. And for everyone who's going to hear the truth, there are people who are also going to hear the lies. And that is how these abhorrible concepts and far right wing ideologies continue to spread and continue to proliferate and continue to grow. They are a small subsection that increases the more they are platformed. My argument and my belief is they should not be platformed. We should boycott them en masse, and they should dry up on the vine. Giving them attention, by legitimizing them, by debating them you legitimize them when you debate them. You increase their platform, you increase their reach, you increase their virality by doing what you guys are saying that we should do. My argument is boycott them, turn them off, give them no air, and they die on the vine.
But they don't die on the vine, though. That's my argument is they don't die on the vine because even if Charlie Kirk or Candace Owens never goes on any platform that's liberal, left wing, or whatever, right? They're still going to have an audience. They still have millions of people that subscribe to them on their Patreons, on their accounts. They're always going to have a platform. The difference is, and here's my argument, the difference is if you're going to come and sit down with me, Brian Baez, know that your ass is going to get destroyed with facts. Know that I'm going to push back because the difference is that they're just sitting, like we're talking about, they're just going to sit in their echo chambers. If we boycott them, they're still going to have their millions of people. The only difference is they're not going to have anybody pushing back. They're not going to have anybody intercepting that argument or whatever their talking points are. Fucking Joe Rogan built millions of people and has millions of people on the podcast. Shout out to Midas Touch, who has finally overtaken them. And I want to continue uplifting that because I've been seeing that shit is crazy.
But that's how it's happening, Brian. We are deplatforming Joe Rogan in real time. You just proved my point.
No,
people are turning off Joe Rogan and turning on Midas Touch in this moment. Midas Touch isn't sitting here platforming the opposite argument. They're not giving white supremacists a platform. They're not giving transphobes a platform. They're not giving hate a platform to grow and expand the way that Gavin Newsom did, the way that Charlemagne always does. They are giving people facts and they're giving value add. That's why Joe Rogan is going down in ratings and Midas Touch is going up. And we need to continue to strangle them out.
Well, here's the other thing. We didn't have a platform before. This is the first time where people are actually able to have left-leaning media. We didn't have that before. Right. Before, we used to try to go to corporate media, which we thought was MSNBC, but all of those things are dying away. So where are we running? A lot of people are running to the internet, running to content creators for information because we understand that corporate media is dead. So Midas Touch is not only just, I don't think they're just taking away Joe Rogan's audience. I think they're also gaining the audience from people who feel betrayed by MSNBC and corporate media. I think that's the reason why they're able to grow. They're occupying the space that's been vacant. And that's exactly what we're doing here with our platform today. As far as, platforming and stuff like that, when it comes to those things, I do not believe I would ever go into a room and actually have a conversation with Candace Owens because the way that I would go in there would be overly hostile. And I'd probably lose all my platforms because of the shit that I would probably say to this woman. So that's the only reason why I would not do it. But as far as what Gavin Newsom did, he is using his platform to platform these white supremacists like Charlie Kirk, like Steve Bannon, who said they're going to put out so much misinformation to where they're going to get 20% of the vote from black men, and we're going to be able to have a mandate for the next 50 years. So hell no. And the fact that he's throwing trans people under the bus and throwing away democratic things that he, quote unquote, supposed to represent California, one of the most liberal states in our damn nation. He's going against all these things because he's trying to appeal to Republicans. That's not the way you're supposed to do that. We're not supposed to lean right. We're supposed to be leaning left and then leaning into that. I don't understand why I'm starting to see a shift from heavy hitters in the Democratic Party who feel the need to have to appeal to conservatives when you're not going to get those votes.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I've been saying. These motherfuckers talking about we got to move to the center. And we know a lot of people are acting like confused in the comment section in some of the posts on Instagram that I saw on the Gavin Newsom. Like, oh, why would he do this? We know why he's doing this. He's trying to moderate his image of being a California governor who, if he were to ever run for office, is going to look as a communist Marxist from a liberal state like California, and he wants to moderate his image.
They're going to call him that no matter what.
I know, but the thing is, he wants
Lean
to have
into it.
But he wants to have clips
But
to
he's
show.
not going to lean into it because that's not who he is. Who he is a transphobe. Because let me tell you, who he is a disgusting piece of shit. Like, I'm not going to play fuck a Gavin Newsom. Let me tell you something. That slick-haired, oily-back motherfucker could never in his motherfucking life earn my fucking vote. I've never liked Gavin Newsom. I've always known who the fuck he was. Because again, you set your nasty ass up here and slept with Kimberly Guilfoyle Newsom. That was your wife. That was your mother. If you could fucking lay down with somebody like that, you could marry somebody like that, you could have a child with somebody like that, you ain't never been shit. Gavin Newsom ain't never been shit. So let's make no mistake about that. I've always known who he was and how he was. I just kept my mouth closed because what's the point of pointing that out when he's nobody relevant to me on a national stage as a American citizen living in the state of Georgia. But now that we're talking about him on a bigger scale, and he has chosen to sit here and show the whole world who he is, that he is not someone who has grown, he is not someone who has evolved, but he is someone who sits here and allows his 14-year-old son to watch Charlie Kirk, who sat here and said that he would not want to fly in a plane because if the plane was flown by a black man.
Come on.
Charlie Kirk, who has come here and who absolutely denies the fact that you can be transgender, that these types of issues even exist in the world, where clearly he seems to be on a spectrum of some sort. I won't say what kind. The fact that he is denied and has made horrible statements about black people in this country, and you sat here not only and smiled with him, broke bread with him, kikied and cock-out with him, but you let your son watch him, and then you're proud of that fact. You make that national news that you're proud that your son admires this man. Gavin Newsom ain't shit, and there's not a motherfucking thing he could ever do to earn my vote. Ever.
And let me say this. I've always said this in private. If Zach really came out, I need people to understand Zach is uncensored tonight. And look at the people in the comment section and the reaction that he's
I'm really angry about Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom has pissed me off.
No, but Zach, I need you to tap.
Rightfully so.
Hold on, Zach. I need you to tap into this moment because look at the people in the comment section.
It's a rare moment, people. I don't do this often in public.
Mm-mm.
And I need,
we need it more.
And we need it more in public because this is what I'm talking about. It's this raw, it's unfiltered
I am not
emotion.
a full-time content creator.
He's sunshine and rainbows when that camera cut on. But as soon as that camera cut off, this is what we normally see. This is watered down, actually, compared to what we actually be seeing.
That's right. That's right. No, but that's right. But that's exactly right. No, and again, here's what I will say. I agree with Zach in this moment in that, again, Gavin Newsom deserves all the smoke that he's getting. He is. I mean, Zach is absolutely 100% correct. This shit was a complete miss. And I think he wants to have some clips to be able to use for if he ever runs in 2028 that he can, he agreed with some of the Charlie Kirk stuff. But and here's the other thing. There has to be something said about these right-wing, like alt-right people, from Candace Owens to Charlie Kirk to whatever. They go on to these platforms and try to infiltrate. A great example of this was motherfucking Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard, her specific reference, she goes on every platform, and she went on every platform before she was, what is she, secretary of what now? She's secretary of what? Something. But here's what I want to say.
Isn't Tulsi Gabbard over Homeland Security?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's Kristi Noem.
No.
I have to check. But check that. But the whole point is Tulsi Gabbard did a video, and I remember there was somebody who was a speech pathologist and a body language expert that broke it down and was like, I'm seeing her exactly for who she is. She's
Even
the way
Director of National Intelligence.
Director of National Intelligence. Right. So the way that she speaks in this very calm and very this, like, she's able to disarm people, right? And it's the same way when you go onto different platforms, you're able to disarm people. You're in these spaces and you're having these conversations, or you will have a take that's kind of liberal, right? Like for instance, Candace Owens, everybody was like bigging up Candace Owens when she made some pop culture statements and like, oh, she's right now. She's right. But then that's her foot in the door technique to be able to then get you. Once she has you about like the pop culture and you're like, damn, I actually agree with her on this thing, you then switch up and you start giving them a little bit of that political right wing, and that's how they fucking manipulate people into bringing them into the fold. So I also want to say that I have a certain sensitivity to understanding how people can be manipulated by that shit. And so we have to be very cognizant about that. I think for me, when I'm watching things like these interviews on the Breakfast Club, I'm like, I'm very aware and mentally strong about the fact of who these motherfuckers are and what they've done. At the same time, this is some motherfucking good content right here with Al Green speaking up and his truth to power and getting the platform that he deserves, or Jasmine Crockett getting this shit that she deserves, or whatever. So I think that it's also a very case-by-case basis, but I 100% understand the argument of people get manipulated by this shit. They do. It's the alt-right pipeline. That's exactly right. I agree.
And that's how we have to shut it down, by giving it. That's the only way you can end it, is give it no air.
But we can't just give it dust.
We can't talk about it. We can't share it on social media. The problem is that, yes, they're going to have their viewers. They're going to have the people that watch. Yeah. But the problem is that we then share it and we then talk about it and we then criticize it and on our platforms, and that makes it bigger and bigger and bigger. Mm-hmm. That's what we have to stop doing.
Well, I didn't share the video of Al Green. I watched it.
I'm just saying, just because of this conversation tonight, someone is going to see this and they're going to go back and watch that video of Al Green to see how great he was. That's giving the Breakfast Club more views. That's giving them more revenue. That's giving them a boost. I'm just telling you, that's what it's doing. And that's why I say we got to starve it. We have to let it die on the vine.
But that's the thing with Trump, right? And I want to hear what Kenny is about to bring a good point, because he said he wasn't even sharing the video. He just talked about it. But I also want to say that's the thing with Donald Trump. Donald Trump consistently getting the news coverage that he says, because he says incendiary ass shit. He got billions of dollars worth of earned media. And for the folks in, as we call in the business, earned media, which is when you say something incendiary and you get all the media attention and you don't have to pay for it. You're not paying for ads. You're not doing all that shit. So you get billions of dollars, and he's gotten billions of dollars of earned media. But the thing is, yes, but I don't know. I think that there's an argument to be said. I feel like he was still gonna get that the people watching.
He's gonna get the people watching, but I feel like if we sit here and ignore it and not show up to these spaces to debunk the lies, people are gonna still think the same thing when they thought they got the stimulus check from Trump. They still think they're getting a $5,000 check from the government, and that's not happening. They still think that the price of eggs are gonna go down. They still think that all these things that Donald Trump promised is gonna come to fruition when it's not. He's hoodwinking the hell out of people, and if we do not address it, what's going to happen is people are going to run with it, and people believe the first thing that they see, so we have no other choice. That's the nature of misinformation, disinformation. Do you think I wanted to do a video about the Jubilee conversation? Absolutely not. I didn't want to, but I'm like, okay, somebody's going to actually truly believe that people that companies get paid to hire POC. So I had to tell them what the real policy was, which is the work opportunity tax credit. And it has nothing to do with people of color, just people who have barriers to getting a job. Those you get incentives, but taking a chance on people who are trying to re-enter in society, or people with a disability, or people who might be veterans, or somebody with a felony. So we have to have that conversation, and we have to educate the public, because if we don't, we're going to be falling short and then wasting so much time on the back end trying to push back rather than leading with our message.
I have a hot take, and y'all forgive me in advance. I don't know who Sam Cedar is. Do y'all know who that? I don't know who that is.
I've seen his face.
I don't know who that is. So I want to say, let me preempt it by saying I don't know who that is. But the second thing is, they hyped Sam Cedar up in that motherfucking Jubilee shit, if I'm being honest with you. Because I don't think he went hard enough for me. If for the people in the comment section, y'all about to eat me up because y'all know Sam Cedar and his work is phenomenal, that's another thing. I'm talking about for me. I don't know who that is. A progressive podcaster. Okay. And so He didn't do. He didn't do it. Like there was this guy who came up there and everybody was so super like, oh my God. Remember, did you see the video that went viral of the guy he was debating who was like, yeah, these federal agencies get tax credits because they hire black people. And people in the comment section was like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. And they were like, Sam Cedar was clearing him and destroying him. Sam Cedar didn't destroy nobody. I'm sorry to say it. A lot of people hyped him up just because he's on our side, and I get it. So let's call it what it. Let's call a spade a spade. But Sam Cedar did not do what Sam Cedar thought he did.
Sam Cedar was on, I think, Sex and the City. He had some episodes, but he's that's his effect. Like how we have our effect. That's his effect.
Sure.
It's kind of like, that's a part of his shtick, for lack of a better word. He didn't do a bad job. He wasn't.
He didn't do horrible, but he didn't. To Brian's point, there wasn't no sugar, no spice, no nothing in there. I mean, somebody probably lied to Sam Cedar several times and told him that
he was seasoned with salt and a little bit of pepper. He didn't come with no real spices. This ain't no jerk in there. This ain't even no smoked paprika. But that's just Sam. That's Sam.
He could have hit us with some bouillon, some onion powder. I mean, good damn. He doesn't have the vernacular that he thinks that he possesses. Like I said, somebody lied to him several times.
He did. I mean, yeah. I mean, just being honest. I didn't know, but the people in the comment section know who he is. But so I will say, why the fuck? And let me just put this out there because you don't never know who's watching. Why the fuck they don't put any one of us on the motherfucking Jubilee video? You put me on the Jubilee video, I go ahead and I'll debate 20 motherfuckers.
They would have done that, but here's the thing too, right? Like, so us going on Jubilee, Boost Jubilee platform, that was an actual. Like, I'm a big fan of she was traveling nurse on TikTok. I don't know what she's a good friend of mine. We met a lot during the campaign. And she got like ripped apart by Francesca Ramsey for doing Jubilee because of the damage Jubilee has done to other communities when they platform people like Charlie Kirk, when they platform like Nick Fuentes. So going on Jubilee could hurt your individual brand in some circles. So it's just something to think about from that perspective. I think this is the answer to Jubilee and I'm going to do it. This is one way I'm going to use some of my earned money. I'm going to have we're having our own version of Jubilee here in Atlanta.
Okay.
And Brian, you, I, AB, and LaPortia, the four of us will host different sections of it. Hopefully we can fill the room up and hopefully we can have diverse voices in the room. And we're going to kind of do that there to have people talk about and bring these issues up, and it won't be called Jubilee. I already have a good name for it and everything. It's called Let's Talk It Out. Like, we're gonna let's talk it out. So I'm already doing that.
Okay.
Have the venue, just gotta. And I realized that when I saw the Sam Cedar clip, I'm like, the answer isn't to go on Jubilee. The answer is to create our own Jubilee, and hopefully it'll catch traction. But if it doesn't, it's done.
But here's the thing: people love a good debate. I love a good debate, and I mean, we saw it here. Shout out to the people in the comment section putting us in the Citizen Morgan.
Yeah, you paying for the Jubilee. You paying for the black Jubilee, the real Jubilee. Let's call it. Let's say that too, right? The word Jubilee. That's our word. Well, took our word. That's our word. Jubilee belongs to the black community.
I'm going to call it Junebug.
Call it what you see it, Junebug.
But can I say that people love a good debate? I mean, like even our first episode that we did, people love a good conversation. And it's so interesting, even tonight, we debate a lot, but we also fluctuate though. Like sometimes I think I'm, on one side, Zach is on the other side, Kenny's in the middle. Tonight I'm in the middle, Kenny's on one side, Zach is on the other side. And then Zach, like there will always be times where we're always just moving it around. But this is what my thing is, right? The merits of the argument. Because as a debater, I just like to talk through shit because I like to get information.
You're the far right, I'm the far left.
Now that's a fucking lie. Now that is a lie. Y'all know anybody who watched this show. But but let's be clear. Like I think that I think debate makes us stronger. I mean, maybe that's just my debate background, right? Maybe that's just how I was, how I came up with my training. Like you have to learn both sides of the argument. I have to learn the con and the pro, even if I believe on one side stronger because when you go to a tournament, you got to do whatever, side. And you have to be able to, it's not about necessarily because your side could be the fucking losing case and or the wrong case, but it's about how can you present your case? Do you have the most facts on your side to be able to create a compelling story? And I think in real life, just being able to put that out there and like listening to people who I disagree with, that helps me and helps my argument. And it also, like, from a political perspective, I don't know if y'all feel the same way, but for me, I like to learn from the opposition. I've watched interviews. I like to know. I like to learn from the opposition so that I know how to counteract them. Because if you can't defeat an enemy that you haven't been able to understand. That's just how I always understood it. And for me, like, I watched the Ezra Klein video. I don't know if y'all know who Ezra Klein is. He does the New York Times opinion pieces. He does like really great, high quality work.
I read him before I canceled them back in the day.
Yes, Ezra Klein is a really good reporter. He does video content on Instagram. The shit is fucking phenomenal. The shit sometimes is 15 minutes long. You don't even know that it's 15 minutes because it's so engaging. But he broke down so many different pieces. He did a piece on the alt-right, and he had clips here and there of like Steve Bannon and what he said and like flooding the zone and explaining like all these things. And I'm like, these are concepts that are so good for people to understand. I went then back and found the video of Steve Bannon that he clipped some of the things from and watched, the videos back and watched the interviews. And I learned a lot about how these motherfuckers think. Like, and for me, it was an eye-opening experience because I'm like, these motherfuckers are out in the open talking about this shit. This is not like your old Republican Party, your old white supremacists that were behind closed doors. These motherfuckers are in front of your face telling you their strategy, telling you how they want to win. Literally, telling you the people are stupid. We're going to flood the zone. We're going to flood the zone and they will have nothing to understand. This was before Trump won. Yep. So for me, I'm like, I'm speaking for me. I only speak about what the fuck belongs to me. And what I'm saying is I like to learn from the opposition about what they're doing so that I know how to fucking counteract and defeat. So I think it was eye-opening for me. It really was. And I'm like, okay, I can listen to this shit. And I know people who listen. I don't know who. I don't watch Theo Von. I don't watch some of these other people. But again, some of these other people and understanding how they've created their platforms. I'm like, how you motherfuckers have millions of people watching you and following you and subscribing to you, and they watch on a daily, and you're just mediocre. And so for me, I'm just like consistently looking at like, oh, this is what you're doing. These are your little tactics and strategies. And how can I employ it on my side, but be on the right side of history? That's for me. I'm a learner. Lifelong learner, and I will always be that way. What do y'all think about that, though?
I'm not watching that bullshit. You watch it, you learn, you bring it to the table, you share it with me. I'm not watching that bullshit.
I don't mind counteracting it, but as far as going on that platform, hell to the fucking no for me personally, and I'm not platforming it over here. But I don't know. I've already watched like the small little clips, but only thing that I see that them doing is preying on people's prejudice, preying on hate, and preying on fear of others, and this is not what my brand's about. Unfortunately, I can't do that. So there's nothing for me to learn.
Can I say Dawn? Shout out Dawn on the check-in. Dawn, former military, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that's also a military perspective as well. You got to understand who you're dealing with. You got to understand your opponent. I think that's that. Yeah, I shout out to Dawn. Thank you for that. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Yes. So, but everybody got different. But I think it's also about bandwidth too. I'm not telling everybody else they got to do that shit. Everybody has to do the work that they got to do in their own way.
Yeah,
yes.
It just depends on how you operate, right? Like, again,
yeah. It's not one wrong way.
I live in a world of facts. I'm a reader. I know what I know. I don't need to hear how they're going to sit and lie and try to deconstruct the truth because I know the truth. The truth is, for me, the North Star. So it just depends, like, what works for you. And that's why, a lot of the content I make it gives a historical context and kind of some background about kind of where we are, how we got there. And then again, I'm futuristic to see kind of where I think that we're going. One thing, this was the worst week of the year for Democrats in America. Last week was the worst week for Democrats in America because not only did we have one of our most prominent Democratic governors, Gavin Newsom, platforming a transphobic racist in Charlie Kirk, not only did we have, you know, a lot of the second horrible thing that happened in the week was this shit right here, was these people right here.
Yes, God.
10 members of the white liberals they warned us about caucus stood together in opposition to a member of the House, a member of their own party, their colleague, someone that they're right now at a retreat with. They stood up together and unifiedly said that we want to censor this man. Now, throughout the course of this entire 119th Congress, we have not seen Republicans break rank like this. Republicans did not break rank to save Medicaid. Republicans didn't break rank to keep people being fed at school lunches, school breakfasts, and for food stamps. Republicans didn't break rank to save the NIH, the CDC, or the motherfucking Department of Education. They didn't break ranks once to do what was right for the American people. But at the drop of a cane, these 10 cowards turned around and voted against a member of their own with no remorse and felt justified in getting on social media to tell their constituents why they did so.
Punk ass bitches, every single one of them. And let me say this too. Representative Chrissy Houlihan. I want to say this specifically to Representative Chrissy Houlihan on that
Curly Sue.
On that bottom left.
Curly Sue.
I was in front of you in DC in the Capitol building when we were doing, and I interviewed her.
Deleted.
I interviewed her, and with that was the night, and it was before. Now I will say this before the address, but it doesn't matter. I interviewed her, and she brought a guest. Who, the guest was, I believe, the park ranger who got fired. And, she was just she's a mother. She had a couple kids and all this stuff. And that story was touching. And I was going to post that video. And Zach, you may want to put me up. But guess what? I'm not posting that shit. And I didn't post it on purpose. Because now when I look back, I'm like, what the fuck do you really stand for? You came in that room and you specifically you had tears in your eyes. Chrissy Houlihan.
Fake.
And yo ass is over here talking about some I will never see. Do you talk about platform? Bitch, you will not be on my platform. Cause clearly you showed your motherfucking ass. And none of these other motherfuckers, if they were in the same motherfucking vicinity, I didn't see any one of these. Now, if y'all correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't see everybody. But if any one of these motherfuckers was in that Capitol building, in that room with us, in that spin room, when we were interviewing them.
They were busy probably having lunch with the Republicans, planning their strategy, making sure they were ready to be activated. As soon as you say, Master Splinter, that's Mike Johnson, Master Splinter, as soon as you tell us to get our little rat asses ready to go, we'll go.
Like, what the fuck are we doing? What the fuck?
Like, no, Brian.
I was pissed off when I saw those motherfucking I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought we would have everybody on motherfucking board and back up Al Green, and they fucking disappointed. I was mad as fuck.
But Brian,
and I'm still mad as fuck.
They have to get.
I feel like you should.
We have to support their primary challengers. We have to email these people. We need to write letters to them, email them, and we don't need to let out the brakes. Listen, people, every single piece of social media they post, every tweet, every Instagram, all 10. When they post something, we need to be in those motherfucking comments, letting them know and their followers know that we are not having it. We need to post so much that they do like Target and turn the damn comments off.
Yeah, motherfucker.
For every single one of them, because they betrayed their party and they betrayed the American people. We need people to fight tooth and nail. These 10 people are going to continue to have the money they have, the prestige they have, the good life they have. We are the ones who are going to have it. It is the elderly who are right there. The largest voting bloc in this country are people ages 65 and older. They are the most reliable voters. They are the voters who are also the least informed by social media. And they're the ones that we're not reaching. They're the ones who are that are being led by legacy media to think and believe certain things. And they're right now sitting there, some of them either oblivious that their social security is in danger or they're worried about getting it. And these 10 cowards, these 10 traitors said, we don't really give a damn because we're more concerned about this man interrupting a traitorous, dictatorous king than we are about fighting for the American people. We need to make it known and make it known continuously that these 10 traitors are traitors. They are cowards and that they have to get the fuck out of Congress.
But let me also say this, motherfucking Tom Sawazi, now that I'm thinking about it, was in the spin room too. But let me say this. The reason why I'm mad on two fronts. The reason why I'm mad, number one, is because they didn't stand behind Al Green, and that pissed me off because Al Green showed a fucking sign of valor and valiant effort to motherfucking stand up there. And that photo, I mean, again, I watched that interview at the Breakfast Club, and I was fucking tearing up. You know when you get so mad as fuck, you get teared up because he was explaining the story of what the fuck happened to him and how he was willing to suffer the consequences for standing up. When these motherfuckers, Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying her shit and nobody ever fucking Sergeant of Arms ever took her bitch ass out? No.
Come on.
No. And here's the second front that I'm fucking mad at. You 10 motherfuckers fucked up the news cycle that day. Because you 10 motherfuckers should have not broke ranks, number one. And number two, you became the story.
Yep.
Everything else was happening. We need to continue. What the fuck are y'all not understanding? To continue the media blitz of them wanting to cut Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, education funding, and food stamps. I got that shit down to a science because of how many times I've said that shit in my videos. But the reality is, you should not have become the story. And then the story became, and shout out Simone Sanders who said the same shit. You motherfuckers breaking ranks became the story and took away from all the negative. Like, I don't want to give any air to any negative, take away from the negative press that these motherfuckers are getting. Because the shit is breaking through. And when you do this bullshit and you go against your motherfucking own, you show no solidarity, no fucking spines, and you don't deserve to be in fucking leadership or become an elected official. And shout out to somebody in the comment section that said Houlihan is not running again. None of you bitches should be running again. And I don't give a fuck about Jared Moskowitz. Everybody in the comment section, oh my God, I can't believe Jared Moskowitz. Well, bitch, believe it. I don't give a fuck about his ass either. And fuck John Fetterman. While we at it. While we motherfucking at it. Fuck the Senate Democrats too that want us that said that they were on the fucking fence of voting for this CR. Oh, you bitches are gonna get that shit motherfucking too. Let that fucking vote come through. You fucking fat ogre, fucking short basketball wearing motherfucker. That think that you want, that think you being, that you think you being subversive.
I don't know if it's a sunburn, but something is going bad. But you brought up a good point. I have the clip ready to go. Like, this is why he just said, fuck John Fetterman.
Yes, God.
Down is the Democrats are going to have the choice to vote for whether you want it's the cloture or the final one.
Hold on.
You know, and if you refuse to, or you withhold your vote, you're voting about shutting the government down. And now, so that's always been my point. Now it's a CR that we all agree we don't like, and we don't co-sign on all of those elements. But for me, it's about we can't ever allow the government to shut down.
And there are a lot of Democrats, Jake, who are in that camp right now. And it remains to be seen how long Schumer could keep them on his side. We expect that they would need at least 8 Democrats to vote to break a filibuster. And that vote could happen as early as Friday morning. And that vote would just be hours before the deadline, which is 11:59 p.m. Friday night. And if it does ultimately lead to a shutdown, Jake, some Democrats are just simply worried what Donald Trump would do in that situation, having the government shut down, having Congress having to rely on Republican votes to reopen the government, how much Trump would demand in that case, which is why at the end of the day, some Democrats and Republicans believe a deal could be averted in the last.
Shut that shit down. That's what I'm saying. Shut that shit the fuck down. Do not allow this continuing resolution to pass. And most people that I know who work for the federal government want the shit to shut down too. You already got 50% of people in the Department of Education have already been laid off. So what's the purpose of continuing with this government? In this moment, if Democrats break away and Chuck Schumer does not show a true leadership in whipping up votes to make sure that they do not have 60 votes to pass this filibuster, what will happen is Democrats will throw away all of their leverage, meaning we will not be able to add any type of resolutions, any markups to this budget plan. We will not be able to save Medicaid. We will literally be just giving it away to Republicans. And if Democrats vote for this, that's the end of the fucking party. That's the end. There is no, us versus them or two sides. They would literally be telling what the left has been saying for the longest, that they're two sides of the same coin. Do not prove these motherfuckers right, okay? Stand up for the American people.
And this right here is what it's all about. When you sit down and read the 99 pages, this is the most, what stands out to me and is most concerning is that literally this Congress and this stopgap is giving away their authority to Trump. Right. They're literally giving him congressional authority to be the control of the budget and the paymaster and the purse, and they're giving him that authority. That the only thing that stands between Donald Trump having and Doge having absolute control over the spending and the budgetary controls in our government is Congress. And if this passes, they're giving away their full control to Donald Trump between now and September to do whatever he wants. And that's a part of this. That's the biggest concern.
But yeah, can I also say this? Because I think some people in the comment section are getting it spot on correct. The reality is that the Republicans are already trying to, like, Trump and Doge and Elon Musk are already shutting down parts of the fucking government. Like, they're trying to spin this narrative of, like, it's Democrats. First of all, you bitches control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Number one. This is all on you. You bitches got the votes. You want to demonstrate that you got the votes? Do it. You want to demonstrate that y'all are the deal makers that y'all think that y'all are? Then do it. Let's see it. But we should not be giving a motherfucking inch because they're going to take a motherfucking mile. And the other part to it, too, is that them essentially cutting all these staff members from the department. They cut the Department of Education by half. They cut Social Security staff members by thousands. And the reason that they're doing that is because if there's no people to process the payments, if there's no people to look for the fraud and the waste and the actual fraud, waste, and abuse, if there's no people to actually do the work to get people their benefits, then those parts of the government are already shut down, baby. Mm-hmm. Like so this concept of, no, you bitches, it's all on you. And you're trying to flip the narrative and trying to say that it's Democrats when it's not. Let's push back on that shit.
Talk about it.
And the problem is that the media frames it so carefully, and every single thing because I don't watch MSNBC or CNN anymore, but when you see the clips, like I see the clips on YouTube and it pops up in my feed, and when I'm looking at the clips, the media is constantly saying about Democrats saving the budget, or Democrats keeping the government open, or Democrats saving America. They constantly put the onus on Democrats instead of on Republicans. They do that by design, and then we pick up on it, not us three, but people out there on social media, and they run with that narrative, not even realizing where the narrative came from. That's the danger in these platforms. Now, I want to also say, I think, Brian, you talked about how Representative Green, the good thing is that he's been given a platform, being able to get his flowers and his recognition. Even more so than that, I want to talk about Representative John Larson of Connecticut.
Yes.
They had a moment that everyone in the world should see, but I know you didn't see it. It was on C-SPAN. I know most of you did not see this clip, but this is what Democrats are doing. People are like, well, what are the Democrats doing? What the fuck are they doing? Who's fighting for us? Who's fighting for us? They fight every fucking day. Their job isn't to be in fucking oligarchy tours. I know some of you are fans and you love the oligarchy tour. You love your Bernie Sanders. You know how I feel about Bernie Sanders. I know you love him. You want him in his fucking mittens, sitting outside, freezing to fucking death, red as fuck. I know you love him. I can't stand him. Hate him. Always will. But that's not their job. Their job is to be in fucking Congress passing legislation. That's their job. And they're giving us real moments. A viral moment shouldn't come from a news clip. A viral moment, I mean, it can, but it shouldn't. The viral moment shouldn't come from the oligarchy tour. The moment should come from them sitting in the motherfucking congressional seat they sit in and doing what is going to be seen right here. Give it a play.
Where's the independence of the committee? Where's the legislature? We're an equal branch of government. And you start off with a blather, and yet
Oops.
when we look at the empty seats here, where's Elon Musk? Sure, he's a genius and is a very credible person because of the wealth he's accumulated. But that does not put him above the law or the responsibility to come before this committee in this Congress. If he's so great, if these plans and all the fraud and abuse that he's found are so evident, why isn't he here explaining it? You know why. Because he's out to privatize Social Security.
Right. That's right.
That's,
I love
that's
that
righteous
video.
anger right there. Righteous
You know what
anger.
we need? You know what we need to do? If I'm being honest, we need to find the fucking schedule of C-SPAN and see when some of these committees are on. And instead of watching CNN and MSNBC, motherfucking watch when Jasmine Crockett is on, AOC is on, and Lawson is on, and we can watch that shit, because I think so many people are so tuned in now. Like that, I'm like, I want to watch that shit, because now it's motherfuckers getting buck. It's like you're saying, in these committees, you know, to actually say what needs to be said. They're fed up. And let's tell the truth. Let's have the conversation that they told us about where Democrats are right now. Democrats are saying they understand the power of, you know, being able to break that mold and that traditional mold. We were told everybody gets it now. Look, there was that report that came, the internal report that came in. A lot of people don't understand the full impact. More people watched the coverage that we had in the spin room at the content creator spin room than watched the actual State of the Union address or joint Congress, whatever the fuck. But the whole point is, we had 50 million views in that room collectively of all the content creators, between live views, between videos, between content. 50 million
34
views.
million people watched, but our content over the course of less than a week garnered 50 million views.
That's right. And let's talk about this too. Let's uplift the DNC. Out of the 200 content creators that were there, that the fucking media didn't want us to be there.
Congresswoman Underwood.
Yes, we had, Congresswoman Underwood was the brainchild behind making sure that we had that spin room. So let's give that credit.
And the Congressional Black Caucus for having my black ass there.
That's right. But at the DNC too, 500 million views across everything based on the content creator impact. So the facts are that folks are now understanding it. The numbers don't lie. People are paying attention to our content. People are paying attention to what we platform. And it's super important that we consistently get this message out. Like, so I firmly, and they understand it now. So they're getting buck as they should. And I don't know what do y'all think about that? Did y'all think about that too? Because I feel like that we have value add. We've always had it. Now we just have the numbers to prove it.
No, we've been had the value. That's the reason why the Harris campaign emphasized trying to reach out to content creators, because they understood that with them, they were so far behind. They needed our audiences in order to push their message, in order for people to understand what their platform was. So that's never been the argument. I think the issue is corporate media. Their issue with us is they understand that they're a dying breed, and they do not want to compete with us because they can't compare with us.
Oh, because like I've always said, the biggest shame of it all is that what we do part-time, they could never do full-time. That's the reality. And that's what eats their ass all the way the fuck up.
They're just not interesting, babes. You guys are very just old school. You just need to retire. Hang it up. Go get you some Social Security.
It won't be no Social Security. They about to bankrupt. They about to bankrupt the fuck out of that Social Security. And can we talk about this? Because I know that with some of us, I think in some ways we've all touched this topic. The reality about the stock market crashing, because I think a lot of people have this misconception that the stock market crashing is just for the rich people. No, baby.
No.
You put in money for a 401k, 403b. You are losing money for your retirement savings.
My 401k and my stocks have shot, okay? This shit done dropped significantly, and I'm not happy about it.
But say that again. Actually, the oligarchs are the only ones who are going to benefit, and that's why some people believe this is a manufactured recession. Is that they're wanting to take farmland out of the ownership of families in the Midwest, in the South. They want to take over businesses that are going to fail because of the recession that they're going to create, that these tariffs are going to bring to fruition. They want to buy homes and take homes where families go into foreclosure because they're the only ones that will have enough money to do it. Some people are like, "Oh wow, Elon Musk lost X billions of dollars in one day. Ha ha ha." No, not really ha ha ha. When you have $700 billion to play with, the reality is once everything starts going to shit, those remaining billions will be more than enough to buy whatever you want to recoup that loss.
Mm-hmm.
The rumors,
it's a temporary hit for a long-term strategy to fuck over the American people.
Yeah, and I think there's like a 2 trillion in that Social Security fund that they're trying to take. And the reason why they're trying to loot it is, again, they're trying to find these $4.5 trillion for tax cuts to the ultra wealthy. But let me say this. I don't know if y'all saw that scoop report that people were talking about, that the reason why Trump went outside to do that infomercial for the Teslas was because Elon Musk was in the Oval Office. Now this is what the rumors were on social media. You know, it could be real, it could be not. I don't know, but that he was crying in the Oval Office because he lost $160 billion.
Well, he needs to. He needs to
Lose more.
And I don't understand why
As
anybody was buying them.
His son would say, "Shush your mouth." That's what he should have told his dad. Shush your mouth.
But this is against ethics for him to be advertising Teslas on the White House lawn. I don't know how the fuck this man can get away with this shit right here. But ain't nobody buying no motherfucking damn Cybertruck because we understand that it's built just like Elon Musk. That's the model. That's the Y model.
Right. Can we also say, you know, he's, as much as he wants, and I'm going to uplift this every single time I motherfucking get on these airwaves, while he's trying to cut Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, education funding, and food stamps, he's over here getting $400 million for armored Tesla deal. He's trying to get another billions of dollars for Starlink to be able to do rural connectivity to internet connection. Right. He's trying to do billions of dollars for Starlink to be able to do the air traffic control. He's trying to get more space. He's trying to get more SpaceX funding. And let me be very clear, because I want to uplift this real quick. I know we had time. We got to go. The whole thing about the Starlink and the internet connectivity, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. and Kamala Harris were the ones who brokered that bipartisan infrastructure deal, got it passed. And part of their plan was to connect rural areas of this country that didn't have access to internet.
Yep.
And part of that infrastructure was that. So now they want to cut Verizon from the deal, give it to Starlink. But here's the problem with that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. And I'm not wearing a tinfoil hat, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do have glasses. and I do see what the fuck be going on. If they have Starlink, yes, I'm wearing my glasses, bitch. I'm wearing my motherfucking owl glasses, bitch. These are great. Put me big. I want people to see the hourglass. Put it right there. Boom. So, you know what I can see? If people can use these Starlink, if he can use these Starlink for internet, he can also control what these motherfuckers see and what they don't see.
Absolutely.
And rural area. No one's talking about this, and I'm gonna make a video about this. Rural areas that are already susceptible to misinformation due to the lack of education funding that they already have, and they already want to dismantle the Department of Education. The shit is connecting. If you give Starlink access and you start controlling the internet access and what they see on some Trump state media shit, on some Chinese Communist Party shit, you need to be very clear that the indoctrination machine is only going to get stronger. This is not just him getting $38 billion for Starlink. Nobody's talking about this, but we need to uplift. It's all and belift.
Yeah.
It's all connected. It's all connected. And when I end my videos and say don't fall for the motherfucking okie doke, that's what I mean.
But he should be getting these contracts anyway. We done already seen the effects of Elon Musk being the fact that they got rid of the person over the what was it? As far as the flight traffic controllers, and then all of a sudden we start seeing planes fall from the sky. But on top of that, SpaceX blew up and fell.
I know.
Into the ocean. So why are we trusting him with these contracts if he's a known failure? But back to that rural thing, I think a lot of people don't even talk about this when it comes to, especially when it comes to Medicaid in rural areas. Do they not know because of the ACA's expansion to Medicaid, a lot of these places, like these hospitals, are actually being funded by Medicaid, and without that funding, a lot of these hospitals are going to shut down, and these are going to impact Trump voters in rural areas where you may not have another hospital for miles. So if you can't go to Bella Noche's, where the hell can you go? That's the real damn question.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to what's really, child, to glory, to glory.
But no,
But
you're
no,
right. Kenny, you're
it's a
right.
big situation. It's a big situation. I don't think a lot, and to your point, in these rural areas, they don't have access to the information. So the only thing they have to focus on is legacy media. And legacy media, according to Zach, is saying that Democrats are going to be the reason why the government shut down. If we lose this, that, and the other,
asking
it's
what are the
somehow going
Democrats
to
going
be.
to do to keep it open. That's the question. To say, well, what is the Democrats going to do to keep it open?
Not a fuck thing. We're gonna let this shit shut the fuck down because you're not gonna cut Medicaid. You're not going to cut SNAP benefits. You're not gonna put people in precarious situations. You're not gonna kill Americans. That's not going to happen. So Democrats, on Friday, y'all need to make sure that y'all hold the motherfucking line. And I'm looking at you, Chuck Schumer. This shit is all on you.
Yup. Because I'm going to tell you right now, motherfucking Chuck, you better wrangle your motherfucking caucus and you better get the Democrats on motherfucking board. Because your ass will be grass.
Like Political's, like 2 hour ago article says Chuck Schumer is in a real shutdown mess. Can he lead the Democrats out of it?
Shut it down, Chuck.
But wait, Zach, I saw a report that said Chuck Schumer said he had all the votes, that all Democrats said no. I don't know.
I saw that too.
But then John Fetterman came out and said he's going to say
but with
he's
John,
voting.
he said he got 7 Democrats that are not going to break.
That's all that
from
matters.
him, so.
One can go, but we can't lose 8.
No, we can't lose 8. We cannot lose 8. That's, but still, I'm needing Chuck Schumer to show some motherfucking leadership and motherfucking wrangle the motherfucking votes. Who's the whip? Who's the whip in the Senate? I need to figure that out because it's also on them. But I want to see. And this, you said the vote is on Friday. I'll be paying attention.
Yeah, Friday morning. So y'all pay attention.
But can I also say this? The Republicans consistently wait till the fucking weekend and the Friday and the Saturday.
Dick Durbin.
Okay, is the whip, bitch? Fucking Dick Durbin, bitch. Fucking Dick Durbin. Fucking another loser. But in any event, these Republicans have been waiting to the weekends to do their fucking shit so that people aren't paying attention. I need also to uplift that Republicans waited for Saturday to drop their resolution. They waited to Saturday, and they continuously do this. Why? Because the news cycle is most prominent and has the highest ratings on Monday through Friday. And we need to understand that they're trying to do this. They try to bury the stories on the weekends. So I need people to also not fall for the okie doke.
Isn't the House on leave now?
They're meeting, like
recess.
They're like
I forgot what it's called. Yeah, recess.
Like
it's not recess. I forgot what it's called.
They're like retreat. They're in their retreat.
Yeah.
The Democratic Congress members are in retreat.
Shout out to Tim Walz. I want to give Tim Walz a shout out, who's also now going to do a tour around in Republican areas to actually do town halls in Republican areas to try to get that message out for them. So shout out to Tim Walz. Tim Walz has been out there doing the work.
We love Tim.
Tim Walz is doing the work. And again, I this is why I uplift all of that. Especially if they're going to be in retreat. If you're going to have some time and you have the bandwidth to do it, go out, do the town halls. Do the town halls. Do the town halls. Because these Republicans are not doing the town halls. And there was a Republican, I don't know if y'all saw the Republican that did the town hall on the phone and said was like, press 1 if you agree with Doge. Press 2 if you do not agree with Doge. And then that shit came through and he was like, 70% say they don't agree with Doge. And this is a Republican. So, you know, these people are being hammered. So keep it going. There, you know, Fox News can only do so much to try to cleanse the image that it's not Republicans. I mean, like, and shout out to Zach. You uplifted that. Greg Bluestein uplifted that one Democrat person who was talking about the Kings. She was like a Kings, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, she was a descendant of Patrick Henry.
Yeah, descendant of Patrick Henry, and she was like, we don't have kings in America, and she was a Democrat. She was a lifelong Democrat. But if she lived in that district, she's still represented by that Republican motherfucker.
She's represented by him. So Democrats and Republican districts have a role to play. Like they are still your representative, even if you didn't vote for them. But and so somebody, it was a good point that was talked about. Like, let me go back to that where it was said, you know, how did you reason with MAGA? Listen,
you don't.
I say that we don't. There's no reason to. You have to understand.
No.
90 million American voters did not vote. That is who we reason with. That's who we go to. That's who we're talking to. That's my work. I don't give a fuck shit damn about a MAGA. I'm not wasting my motherfucking breath talking to them. I'm not trying to convince them of shit. I saw this week on social media, on down to the TikTok. I saw on social media this week down to the TikTok where people have lost their jobs. People are losing their farms, and they're still saying that it is not the fault of Donald Trump. This is Elon Musk doing this. It's anybody but King Trump. It's definitely not God. It's God Donald. It's not God. It's not my God Donald. I'm not even talking to those people. I don't want to ever talk to those people because they're beyond the logic. You cannot reason with them because they are so far gone. So I'm talking to the 90 million voters who did not vote for a number of reasons that were good in their minds, who are now having a lot of regret around it, and some of them not so. But that's who I try to reach. That's what my content is for. I don't care about talking to MAGA. You can do that, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I'm not talking to their ass either. They're too damn crazy. If I talk to them, then all of a sudden I'm gonna go missing, and y'all gonna find me swinging from a tree. I ain't got time for that.
Now here's what I will say. The people who I do uplift to talk to MAGA is the people who talk to MAGA that it's within their own family.
When it's your family, that's your job. Like when you talking about Ken Martin, Ken Martin is the DNC chair. That's right. Ken Martin is DNC chair, and I saw the interview where he was talking about his parents. I don't know if they voted this season. At one point, they voted Republican. I don't know if they still are. That's his job. If you can't convince your mama and daddy that to vote for the political party that is in the best interest of you and your future, then you got some goddamn work to do. You don't tell me shit. You can't tell me shit if your mama and daddy is voting for Trump and you're a leader in the Democratic Party. Same thing goes to that little skinny boy who at the Parkland. What's his name? Mr. Hogg. David Hogg's parents vote Republican. You can't say shit to me, David Hogg, when you can't even talk to your own family at the dinner table, and you can't convince them. How you gonna convince Americans to vote Democrat when you can't convince your own family in your own house?
Well, you know, that's what happened in this election. A lot of people played along to get along.
That's what I'm saying. That's their job. It's not my job, because all of my black ass family vote for Democrats and always have. And they damn know if they don't ever call me again.
I want to give shout out to Gabe Valamont in Florida, and shout out to David Hogg, who was going around and door knocking with her, Gabe Valamont. I put this video on my show yesterday. Me interviewing Ken Martin and asking him about like these special elections, and he said a really good point that I wanted to uplift too, that you know, this is these special elections are very turnout special elections because nobody really comes out to these elections, right? So the fact that people don't even know about these elections, like this can really, like, if people turn out and they turn out in a big way, they can actually flip the seat. So he was like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. The DNC is doing the work that they need to do to go out into these specific elections, and also the Wisconsin Supreme Court seat, because there's 2 in Florida and 1 in there's 2 regular seats, 2 in Florida and 1 in New York. But There's a Wisconsin Supreme Court seat that I put a video out that they're trying to, belift Susan Crawford. And let me also say this about Susan Crawford. The same organization that Elon Musk propped up to send misinformation on Kamala Harris in Dearborn, Michigan, and parts of Pennsylvania that gave Jewish communities. They went on Jewish communities and said Kamala Harris is pro-Hamas and pro-terrorist organizations and all this stuff. In Arab communities, they sent a different message that was contradictory and said Kamala Harris is pro-Israel, and specifically sent misinformation, but created an organization called Progress 2028 to show that they were like a pro-Democrat like messaging system. They're doing the same thing with Susan Crawford in Wisconsin. They're putting out a message saying, oh, she's a champion of progressive values, giving criminals a second chance. This is what Elon Musk is doing to influence the elections. And the reason why Wisconsin Supreme Court is really important is because, number one, Wisconsin is a swing state. And number two, Wisconsin Supreme Court is going to oversee cases that have to do with election law. Election law. When I'm telling you they playing the long game to hold on to power as much as they can, this is all
they were fighting for North Carolina. That's right.
That's what they're right. And so we gotta be very cognizant, uplift all of these moments, because I think they try to bury these stories with their bullshit. So what I'm gonna need, and I'm gonna call back Democrats on Friday, stand on your shit and don't fucking become the story. There's other shit we got to work on. There's other shit we got to focus on. Stand in solidarity. Give the media no fucking air so we can focus on other shit. And the Republicans' lack of governance. That's what we need to be focusing on.
Agreed. In the words of RuPaul, good luck and don't fuck it up.
Seriously.
You know what? This is a chance for redemption. This is a chance for Chuck Schumer to show leadership. This is a chance. Like, I have been hard on Chuck Schumer. I'm going to stay hard on Chuck Schumer, but this is his chance to show us leadership. This is a chance for Dick Durbin to redeem himself. This is their chance. So let's see what they bring to the table. Let's see what they do. That's what we'll see. Let's see what they do. And again, with that being said, again, so many things. Here's a good point. Yeah, Nebraska's it's a busy week. It's a lot to talk about, but we've hit the hour mark. I don't want to keep these men over time. We appreciate you. We thank you. And especially everybody who gave like in the super chats, like that's going to help us fund the Black Jubilee. That's going to help us, get Kitty to finally move to Atlanta so we can do the show in the studio. So, we're getting there. And with that being said, thank you, Emery. It is good night, fellas. Good night, ladies. Good night, everybody watching. And we will see you back next week.
Bye, y'all.